welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll be telling you guys why the Boston Celtics should trade for Anthony Davis before this year's trade deadline. Let's go, y'all. Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great day. Now, I know you guys probably wondering why would the Celtics trade for Anthony Davis? Why would they get rid of some pieces to get Anthony Davis? But I'm going to tell you why in this video. Now, first, let me start off with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is only 25 years old. He's a year younger than Kyrie Irving. And a lot of people not going to be like, oh, well, they should just keep Gordon Hayward, keep that team. No. Here's the reason why I think they should trade for him. Because Gordon Hayward, and I'm going to look down at my notes, that's why my head is down. Gordon Hayward is 28 years old. At the trade deadline, he will be 29 years old. Correction, I'm sorry, after the trade deadline, he will be 29 years old. So here is my thinking when it comes to trading for Anthony Davis. And I'm going to get to how do you get him in a moment. But here's my philosophy in the long run. I would rather have Kyrie Irving starting at my point guard position. Make sure he re-signs a max deal for 3 years or 2 years, or make sure that he stays in Boston. You have Jaylen Brown at the shooting guard position, who's very, very good. You put Jason Tatum back at small forward. Jason Tatum is not a 4; he's a 3. He can be 3 close to a 2 at best. He's not a 4 and nowhere near a 5. Like, you're just ridiculous. At the point guard position, he's Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, then Jason Tatum, then Anthony Davis at power forward. And then if you want to keep Al Horford there, you can have him at center. And also, when you trade Gordon Hayward, you also can trade a guy like Marcus Smart, or you can trade Al Horford and trade Al Horford and put Aaron Baines in the starting lineup at center, and then have another person come off the bench. The other center that's on the team, I think his name is Daniel Theus. I think that's his name is on the Boston Celtics. But I think that this lineup overall, a young, healthy lineup, Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, and Aaron Baines. Unless you want to start Marcus Smart, have Jaylen Brown at small forward for the playoffs. Jason Tatum at the 4, and then Anthony Davis at the 5 in the playoffs. You play small ball, but Anthony Davis, you can't play small ball with Anthony Davis, so he'll be the center. But everybody else will be playing. The whole other team, the rest of the team will be small ball except for Anthony Davis. And my thinking with this is that Anthony Davis is only 25 years old. Like I said, after the trade deadline, then he'll turn 26, and Kyrie will be 27 years old. Now, also, here's another trade that I would say that you can trade Terry Rozier as well. So, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and a first-round pick for Anthony Davis, because you can also help the Pelicans if they say, well, that's not enough. Well, how is it not enough? If Terry Rozier didn't, and I want to be perfectly clear on this, Terry Rozier will be a restricted free agent, but probably will leave Boston because he did not sign his rookie extension in the offseason right before the season started. So now here's my thinking for the trade. You trade Gordon Hayward. You trade Terry Rozier, who's 24 years old. He'll be 25 years old after the trade deadline in March. I think his birthday's in March. He'll be 25. So Gordon Hayward, think about the Pelicans starting lineup. Terry Rozier, Drew Holiday, Gordon Hayward, Julius Randle, and I think Mirotic and then Randle will be playing center. And then you have future first-round draft picks from the Boston Celtics that will help you in your rebuild to get better players during the next couple of years. Because Anthony Davis is not going to want to be there for long and just continue to lose and have this stigma that he can't win by himself. So if I was the Boston Celtics right before the trade deadline this year, give it a couple more months. Gordon Hayward, he can come back from injury. He can be a good player, but to me, Anthony Davis is 10 times better than that. And if Kyrie Irving does decide to leave, that he wants to leave the Boston Celtics, if he wants to leave the team, you will still have a star in Anthony Davis to represent that team instead of having young guys and we don't know what you're going to do at point guard. If you have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Anthony Davis along with Kyrie Irving, if he wants to stay, to me that team is better than they will be with Gordon Hayward. So like I said, these are the picks that the Boston Celtics have. They have the Philadelphia 76ers top one protected pick, or Sacramento's Kings top one protected pick. The Memphis Grizzlies, if the pick falls outside the top 8. They have the Los Angeles Clippers. This is 2019. The Los Angeles Clippers, if the pick falls outside the top 14. Now in 2020, they have the Memphis Grizzlies picks. If the picks have not been conveyed and falls outside the top 6. They also have the Clippers if the pick has not been conveyed and falls to the top 14, falls outside the top 14. So think about that. And in 2000, I think in the next year after that, or 2020, the next year after that, they would just have their picks. And I think if they have 7 second round picks, you can give up second round picks too. I think it's just first round picks that have to be every other year. So if I'm the Boston Celtics, I think for the stat they have a stipend rule, which is the dumbest rule in NBA history, but they have a rule that says that if you cannot trade multiple first round picks in 1 year or in the same year. I think that's what happened with the Los Angeles Lakers, and when they was training with the Cleveland Cavaliers, they gave them the Cleveland Cavaliers gave the Lakers their first round pick, or just something like that. Or the Lakers, I forgot how it went down, but supposedly Cleveland couldn't give up the other pick that they had got Colin Sexton with. They only gave up one pick. So, in my opinion, to me, the starting lineup of Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, maybe Al Horford. And what I want to say about Al Horford is people can be like, why would you trade Al Horford? Because he has an option next year. I think that's over like $32 million or something like that. So if it's $32 million and he opts into that player option, that's more money pulling away from the team. As opposed to you trade Gordon Hayward and his big contract, because let's just face it, he could come back and be the same player, but he's not going to come back and be. He could come back and play good, but he's not going to be the same player that he once was before after shattering his ankle. Like the same thing, Paul George is not the same athleticism when he shattered his knee. So, like I said, this is my opinion, but I think that the Boston Celtics in their future, because Anthony Davis is still in the contract for this year and next year, then he has a player option. You have Kyrie Irving has a player option, but if they get Anthony Davis and he wants to build and win championships and not leave for the Knicks, you still have Kyrie Irving. You would have Jaylen Brown, who's still on his rookie deal, Jason Tatum on a rookie deal, and Anthony Davis, who is only going to be 26 years old during the second half of that season. That's a much younger and healthier team than having a Gordon Hayward, who Jason Tatum is during this whole season is trying to figure out his role because they're trying to get Gordon Hayward back into the lineup and try to get him going. Terry Rozier, I know there were reports of he was not happy in Boston because obviously you know who, and this is just a report. Like I said, a lot of people don't know if it's true because he didn't come out and say it, but sources were saying that he was actually upset about being in. That's why he didn't sign the extension. That he wanted to be a free agent. So if Terry Rozier is not happy in Boston, or let's say he is happy in Boston, I know he came out with a comment and said that people doubted the team. Now, if the Boston Celtics will give away Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, a first round draft pick, maybe the Memphis pick, maybe Sacramento, depending on where they land by the trade deadline. By the trade deadline, you should really figure out where teams are going to fare because there's only going to be 30 games left. And by that time, you should really be figuring out who's going to playoffs, who's the top 4 seeds in both conferences. People will be fighting for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th spots, maybe jumping around. But to me, Sacramento might not make the playoffs. And Memphis, they're playing good now, but they're probably not going to make the playoffs. So instead of having, like I said before, I'm going to repeat myself one more time: Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, and then Al Horford. If I'm the Boston Celtics, I trade Terry Rozier, I trade Gordon Hayward, and maybe I trade Al Horford and a first round pick for Anthony Davis. He's a once in a generational player. You probably never see a power forward who could play like Anthony Davis, shoot threes, how big he is from when big guys didn't shoot threes back in the day, like a DeMarcus Cousins, who's one of the best big men that we've ever seen as a center in this game, shooting the 3-ball. A lot of centers back in the day, they didn't shoot 3 balls like that. Shaq didn't shoot the 3. A lot of people didn't shoot 3, so These guys who are developing their three game. That's why guys like Blake Griffin developing their threes because they see guys like DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis shooting threes. So when you start to develop your game more, that's why a lot of these big guys are starting to shoot more. You see in college, Zion Williams is attempting threes. He's a big center, but he's attempting threes because it's all about 3-point shooting, and Anthony Davis can knock down threes. So like I said before, if just my personal choice as a basketball fan, I would rather like to see Anthony Davis in Boston rather than be with the Pelicans because he's gonna probably axe out after this year anyway. That's report, and I give credit to people on the channel who's been reporting it. Guys like Stephen A. Smith is saying that Anthony Davis, this is probably going to be his last year in New Orleans. If I'm the Boston Celtics, why would I not jump up and get the opportunity right now to go get him? Remember this lineup, and I want you guys to put it in the comments. Which lineup is better for the future? Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, and maybe Al Horford if not, depending on if they actually do a trade, or Aaron Baines or something like that. Or Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. To me, the Anthony Davis lineup sounds so much better because he's a superstar and he's only going to be 26 years old after the deadline. And that's going to be in March, so you still have a little time to get him. He's under contract for the rest of this year, the next season, and he has a player option. And if they win it, I don't think they're going to win the championship this year. Even if they did trade it for him, I think that Golden State would still win. But the next following season, which would be at, this right now it's 2018, 2019, so the 2019 and 2020 season, I think Boston will have a better chance to win the championship than they would have if they still have Gordon Hayward. So let me know how you guys feel in the comments about do you think the Boston Celtics should trade for Anthony Davis or not? I think they should. I think it will be a phenomenal trade. It will make the lineup even younger. Gordon Hayward's contract, I think he's actually making more money than Anthony Davis, which you can actually bring the cap down a little bit from year to year. You can bring it down. Yeah, you bring it back Kyrie Irving. You give him a 2-year max. Maybe he does what Kevin Durant does. I'll opt in for 1 year, have another player option, or opt in for 2 years like LeBron did after they won the championship. I'll sign for 2 years and have a player option. So maybe we'll see. If they re-sign him and he wants to be there. So if I'm Kyrie Irving, if they get Anthony Davis, I stay. If they don't, and it's not really working out, and you guys lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, then he wants to go to the Knicks and have his own team, then maybe he does that. I don't know. But the Boston Celtics should trade for Anthony Davis because it'll be one of the biggest trades probably in NBA history if you look at it to go to Boston. And Anthony Davis, to me, a superstar in New Orleans. I don't know how long he's going to be there, but if I'm the Boston Celtics, I trade for Anthony Davis ASAP. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more videos. Until next time, guys. Peace.